Hello everyone! Alright, I have our last Three Little Pigs book today, and this one actually is going to have a lot of differences in it because it's the Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. Now, two people worked together to write and draw this book, Eugene Trivizas and Helen Oxenbury. Alright, so let's see what happens in this one. Ready? Alright. Once upon a time, oh, there's that story part again at the beginning. Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. The first was black, the second was gray, and the third was white. One day, the mother called the three little wolves around her and said, "My children, it is time for you to go out into the world. Go and build a house for yourselves, but beware of the big bad pig." "Don't worry, Mother, we will watch out for him," said the three little wolves, and they set off. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. "Please, will you give us some of your bricks?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. Oh, so there's already the first difference. The three little wolves are building their house together. Remember in the Three Little Pigs story, they each built their own house of straw, sticks, and bricks. There they are, building their brick house. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. The three little wolves were playing croquet in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside the house and locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted, little wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china pot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house did not fall down. Okay, so there's some things that were similar to the other story, but also something that was different. They still said, "Nope, we won't let you in." And he huffed and he puffed, but did the house fall down? Nope. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and he fetched a sledgehammer and he knocked the house down. The three little wolves only just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled, and they were very frightened indeed. "We shall have to build a stronger house," they said. Just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer. "Please, will you give us some of your concrete?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the beaver, and he gave them buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of concrete. No sooner had they finished than the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of concrete that the little wolves had built. They were playing battledore and shuttlecock in the garden, and when they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside their house and shut the door. The pig rang the bell and he said, "Little frightened wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. That happened the last time. He couldn't knock the house down, so what did he do? He went and got something else. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and he fetched a drill and smashed down the house. The three little wolves managed to escape, but their chinny chin chins were trembling and trembling and trembling. So if your chin is trembling, that means you're scared, just like the wolves are scared. We shall build an even stronger house, they said, because they were very determined. Just then they saw a truck coming along the road carrying wire, iron bars, plates, and heavy metal locks. Please, will you give us some of your barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and some heavy metal locks? They said to the rhinoceros who was driving the truck. Sure, said the rhinoceros, and he gave them plenty of wire, iron, plates, metal padlocks. He also gave them some plexiglass and some reinforced steel chains because he was a generous and kind rhinoceros. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest, securest house one could possibly imagine. They felt absolutely safe. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling along the road as usual. The three little wolves were playing hopscotch in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside their house, bolted the door, and locked all 37 locks. The pig dialed the video entrance phone and said, "Little frightened wolves with the trembling chins, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He brought some dynamite and laid it against the house, lit the fuse, and the house blew up. Don't worry, there's the wolves. The three little wolves just managed to escape with their fluffy tails scorched. "Something must be wrong with our building materials," they said. "We have to try something different. But what?" At that moment, they saw a flamingo coming along, pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. "Please, will you give us some flowers?" asked the little wolves. "With pleasure," said the flamingo, and he gave them lots of flowers. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of flowers. That is very different. You wouldn't think flowers would be that strong. So I wonder what's going to be different here when the big bad pig comes along. One wall was of marigolds, one of daffodils, one of pink roses, and one of cherry blossoms. The ceiling was made of sunflowers, and the floor was a carpet of daisies. They had water lilies in their bathtub and buttercups in their refrigerator. It was a rather fragile house, and it swayed in the wind, but it was very beautiful. Next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of flowers that the three little wolves had built. He rang the blue bell at the door and said, "Little frightened wolves with the trembling chins and the scorched tails, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. He took a deep breath, ready to huff and puff. He smelled the soft scent of the flowers. It was fantastic. And because the scent was so lovely, the pig took another breath and then another. Instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with the fragrant scent. His heart grew tender, and he realized how horrible he had been. Right then, he decided to become a big, good pig. He started to sing and to dance. Oh, so that was the three little wolves' idea. There he is dancing. first, the three little wolves were a bit worried. It might be a trick. But soon they realized that the pig had truly changed. So they came running out of the house and they started playing games with him. First they played ping pong and then piggy in the middle. And when they were all tired, they invited him into the house. They offered him tea and strawberries and wolfberries and asked him to stay with them as long as he wanted. The pig accepted and they all lived happily ever after. That's another phrase we hear a lot in stories. A lot of times storybooks will start with once upon a time and then it'll end with and they lived happily ever after. So that book had a lot of similarities to the Three Little Pigs story, but it also had a lot of differences. Okay, I'm glad they were able to work it out and they ended up being kind to each other. Today is pretty nice and next week it's supposed to be really sunny, so maybe one of those days you can go out and smell the flowers that have started to grow like the wolves and the pig did. Okay, all right, so since today's Friday, you all have a good weekend and I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye.